Finally, we have finally hit 400,000 subscribers. Literally after months and months of begging in every single video and being like, guys, I'm really trying to hit 400k, can you help me out? We finally did it. Blood, sweat and tears went into this journey, and I just want to thank you for sticking by me and putting up with me, asking you to subscribe in every single video, and we no longer have to worry about that. We can live in peace and get on with today's video. But before we get into that, I am trying to hit 500k, so if you do want to help, nah, I'll leave it for now. But yeah, you've seen the title. Today's video is about Colleen Ballinger, and I really thought if I was going to be making another video on Colleen Ballinger, it would be when she does like her big statement video, like an apology or whatever it's going to be, and then we'd cover that and see how it is. But actually, this is completely different. In fact, I was looking through my Instagram DMs because I take a lot of my suggestions for these videos over on Instagram. It's at MARKIE, by the way. But someone actually sent me a few links to a few TikToks of people actually talking about their experience with Colleen Ballinger, and unfortunately, it's quite similar to what we've already seen. Now, we are going to get into a TikTok from someone who was actually given a bit of like a story time and fully explaining everything that happened in just a second. But I also did just come across this TikTok right here where the caption says, "Remembering I was 14 and Miranda Sings sexualized me on stage," and this is the video. Now, we've seen this type of stuff, right? It's Colleen's like tour that she's doing.
Example of what you don't want to dress like. So this is porn. What's your name? Grace. Exactly.
Yeah, so she would bring on, like, fans onto stage who aren't wearing, like, clothing that's fully covering them, and then she would just describe them as porn, which, yeah, I mean, if you're bringing adults on stage and doing that, I can see the joke, but as she just said here, she's 14. It's very strange. And the two times I've done these Colleen Ballinger videos, I've looked at the comments, and for the most part, people are kind of agreeing and realize that this is wrong, but there are a lot of people who don't seem to have a problem with this. But I can only imagine the reason why they don't think anything's wrong here is because they're probably children too, right? You can't really tell from a YouTube account or anything like that. It's very anonymous. But I struggle to believe that an adult wouldn't be able to look at this and be like, right, talking in a sexual way and describing a 14-year-old as porn on top of like all the other like stuff we've seen with the DMs, like asking for like arse pictures and asking what's your favorite sex position to kids. Like, if you're an adult and you don't think that's wrong, that's very worrying to me. But now what we're going to look at is actually someone who's given a bit of like a story time and properly explained their feelings about being part of Miranda Sings or Colleen Ballinger's show. And honestly, I'm going to warn you in advance, it's really fucking sad. But yeah, this person actually stitches this separate TikTok of her on stage where Colleen Ballinger's brought her on stage to do like a yoga challenge or something where she's like spread her legs open or whatnot for some reason. When I was getting the clips together for my last video, I was like scrolling through Twitter to see what people had been posting, and I actually saw this one had been posted, and I didn't use it in my video for obvious reasons, like it's fucking really degrading for the girl. But yeah, this is part of the show apparently. She like brings someone on stage to do like a yoga challenge, grabs the legs, and then I think she like plays like a fart sound effect or something. I don't know. I can't even explain the show at this point. It just seems all so fucking random to me.
So I was a fan of Colleen and all the Ballinger family for a very, very long time, and I think in this video I was about 16. If you've never been to a Miranda show, Colleen frequently has segments where she calls people up on stage. One of those segments was the porn bit, which I'm not really going to be explaining in this video, but that's why I was kind of trying to dress skimpy so that I would be called up on stage and basically get degraded by Miranda. But I did not get called up for that. I got called up for the yoga challenge.
Why do all of these challenges seem so strange though? She does a challenge where she brings someone on stage and calls them porn, and then she does one where she does like the yoga challenge, which is quite literally her just grabbing your legs.
Now, as soon as I stood up from the audience, I saw Colleen's eyes widen because she realized I was not wearing pants. But for some reason, that didn't stop her from continuing. In fact, no adult at any point stepped in.
That's the most baffling bit for me. Like, the adults, like the parents are bringing their kids to these shows. Like, are they just sat there like, what the fuck have I brought my kids to? Because I guess if they didn't do, like, full-on research, at first glance, it really does look like it is just a kid's show, right? Miranda Sings is a character where a lot of young people watch her, so it's going to be a kid's show. And then when they get there, it's all about porn and stuff like that. They're probably going to be very, very shocked.
So we get to the point in the yoga challenge where I am laying down and Colleen is spreading my legs basically as far as she can. She spreads them so far that you can see the spandex I was wearing under my romper, which thank God I was wearing. I was laying under Colleen and she was smirking down at me while thousands of people were laughing, and I was terrified that my body wasn't covered up enough by the spandex or the romper.
Yeah, I mean, to the people who do leave comments saying like, it's all just jokes, it's all just fun and games. I mean, clearly it's not. Like, when you're a child, you don't really understand what's going on, right? You don't understand like what is meant to be like normal behavior and what isn't because you're a child. But clearly, at least somebody or some people people, because we obviously spoke about the person before, will grow older and realize like how wrong it was at the time, and it's just a big shame.
And not to mention, after all this, after the show, I had to walk back to my car where there was many men staring at me in a very predatory way that they were not looking at me before because of how exposed I had been on stage.
Fucking hell, I didn't even think about that. Like, she really is kind of like setting up an environment, and I get it, right? She's not intentionally setting up this environment for this reason, but at the end of the day, it is setting up an environment that if some older person, a fucking creep, wanted to go, like, why are you putting these kids in that position in the first place?
There's a couple comments on Xander's video being like, oh, she signed up for that, why is this such a big deal, blah blah blah. Colleen exploited my minor body for entertainment and money and did not protect my safety at this show.
Yeah, I mean, if you're blaming a kid for this, then I really, really do worry for you. We're not talking about two fully grown adults here making their own decisions, alright? We're talking about children who can easily be persuaded by, like, their idol, right? Someone they watch and want to impress. Like, I don't understand how people can't realize that. Because I've seen a bunch of comments, like, blaming the kids and being like, oh, well, if the kids don't like that type of content, why are they there? Like, why are they getting on stage? They seem like they're enjoying it at the time, and it's like, listen to yourself, you're blaming kids.
As an outsider looking into this situation, it may seem like this wasn't a big deal, but this was really pretty scary for my teenage self, and especially as someone who loved and looked up to Colleen. And I could never say anything because everybody loved her.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not even shocked that someone did have, like, an experience like this. At the end of the day, she is bringing kids on stage and sexualizing them and just doing stuff that she shouldn't be doing. And it can have this effect. Like, yeah, maybe it hasn't had this effect on every single person who's been on stage. Maybe some people did enjoy it and they still think it was a good time and all this shit. But that doesn't really change the point here. Now, this same person actually made a follow-up video kind of responding to the criticism. And by criticism, I mean people were trying to blame her when she was a kid for, like, getting on stage and what she was wearing, which, yet again, is mental.
Okay, I want to address some of these comments.
Sorry, can we just read this comment here? It says, this is also weird. You didn't want to be on stage laughed at, but purposely dressed skimpy in hopes of being in the porn skit. Yet again, you're blaming a kid's actions here, okay? There was an adult involved in this scenario who should know better. Why are people forgetting that?
Yes, I said I dressed skimpy, but really this is not that bad of an outfit. And yes, I wanted to get picked for the porn part of the show, which is basically where Colleen picks one fan who's wearing something like this, or even just like shorts and a tank top, really, and one fan who's dressed as Miranda, and the Miranda fan is deemed as dressed appropriately, and the person who was wearing the quote-unquote inappropriate outfit is, like, shamed and laughed at.
What a weird segment. Like, were they really in, like, a fucking meeting room and being like, right, we need to come up with ideas for this show. What can we do? I don't know. Maybe call minors porn. I just don't understand the thought process at all, and it blows my mind that this has been going on for, like, years now. She's still doing it to this day. She's on tour currently. And I'm like, how did people just kind of look past this? It really confuses me.
Now, when she asked for volunteers, mind you, I don't even think that she said it was going to be the yoga challenge when she asked for volunteers, because there was also a segment before that where it was a try not to laugh challenge where she spit in my face.
Okay, so I'm guessing by that, it's like the try not to laugh challenge where you drink like a bunch of water and have it in your mouth and then like you spit it out if you laugh. Yeah, I don't really know. What even is the point of this show? I don't get it. It just seems like a random bunch of challenges, if you want to call it that. I guess maybe it was that. Maybe it was just a challenge show, but for some reason a lot of them were like sexualized. Yeah, very strange behavior.
There was going to be the yoga part, but if I did, I had completely forgotten because I was so excited that she had called me up on stage.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't need to explain herself. She was a child. She looked up to Miranda Sings. If Miranda... Sorry, I get mixed up between the names so much, don't I? If Colleen wanted to bring her on stage, she was obviously going to do it because she looks up to her. That's not the problem here. You can't blame a child for that.
Yes, I was 16, but I was still a minor, and Colleen was in her 30s, and all of the people that were working on her show were also fully grown adults who knew that me wearing this outfit and her doing that bit would be wrong.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, the people who actually did run the show in the first place also, like, have a bunch of responsibility here that they just decided to exploit for some reason, and it's mental that they went ahead with this and no one was like, maybe this is a bad idea.
But yeah, I just want to clear that up a bit and say that if the victim blaming keeps continuing in my comments, I will turn the comment section off, which is not something that I want to do.
Yeah, so that is No It's Beck's response. That sounded like I said Noah Beck there, didn't it? No, it's Bex, it's on screen right now. Okay, I just can't pronounce words apparently. But yeah, that was a response to like the criticism, if you want to call it that. It is just people blaming her for something she did when she was a child and completely forgetting the fact that Colleen was in her 30s. Like, we're not even talking about someone who is a young adult at this point. Like, yes, it is young in the grand scheme of things. I do get that. But when you're in your 30s, you should definitely know better. All right, like, fuck it. You've been an adult for at least 12 years. Maybe you should have realized that you shouldn't be doing this with kids by now. I don't understand. But yeah, I think it's very clear to me now with everything I've seen that Colleen just was happily, like, making sexual content surrounding kids for whatever reason, having these very inappropriate conversations in private group chats and stuff. And yeah, for some reason people are still defending that, and I would love to hear someone try and give me like some proper reasoning as to why this is okay, because I can't wrap my head around that in the single slightest. You know, a reason other than, oh, it was just jokes and the kids decided to go on stage, so it's their fault. But yeah, I don't know, it's just very worrying behavior. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there. But if you did enjoy this video, please do a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and if you want to let me know topics to talk about in future videos, the best way to do that is on my Instagram. It's at MARKIE, it's linked in the description, and it's the reason why I knew about this topic. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.